Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Today's daily, which is September 29th. We're almost to the end of the month here. We've got tents and trees, of course, in front of us. So let's grab our free coins and let's get into the puzzles. Now, when I was going through and setting all this stuff up, I noticed there was a lot of fairly large puzzles. So I think we're just going to jump into these and see how far we can get. I remember, there was 11 by 11s were the smallest ones of all of the ones that we have set up at the moment. So we're going to start there and then we'll backtrack and just see how far we get. We'll do as many as we can. All right, so let's start getting into this stuff and see what we can pick. This 5, is there anything in it? Yes, there is. Obviously, you have to put all of those 4 in, and then you have one of those other ones down here. So let's click out all of this stuff and then see what that picks up. You have to be out. You are just a given in anyway, and so are you. So we'll put you in. It's not going to quite determine some of the other guys, but we can clear all this stuff out and show that there has to be the 3 done. We'll do that. Now, these 2 can't be in because they've removed both those. And we can start to figure out these guys. So you have to be in, which forces you and you, which finalizes the 5. Good. Okay, we don't know which one of you 2 takes on you yet. What about you? You have to go there. And that's going to mean you have to be here. That finishes our 2, so we can start to clean up this stuff now. The 3 is one of those, so that's out. All right, this one here has to be in, and we've got a couple more that are just givens, and the 3 actually now is good to go, so we're going to plop all those in. That'll finish the 2 and the 3 simultaneously. This 3, we can get rid of you, and then start plugging stuff in. That should get us everything we need. Yep, there we go. And on to the second one. Let's see what kind of clues we have on this guy to work with. Nothing as big, although this 4 is not... we can get rid of that, but that's about it. So yeah, the 4 wasn't quite large enough to really tell us something exact. So let's start cleaning out some of this stuff. Maybe this 3 can get us something. And we can get rid of these doubles here because they'll remove too many options. We can continue our cleanup and see what goes on. Realized I forgot to ask everybody how they were doing today. But how is everybody doing today? It's kind of an interesting weekend. End of baseball season. So the playoffs, I think, now start tomorrow. A lot of football yesterday and over the weekend as well, depending if you like pro or college. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These guys are out. So my team won, barely. Blocked field goal at the end of the game to do it. So that was nice to see. Other than that, not too much doing. So... all right, I'm scanning around here trying to find this while I'm talking, and I can't find anything right off the bat. So we're going to have to pick something here and figure out where we can get moving. So where is that going to be? Because I don't think any of these clues are necessarily telling us anything right now. Is there something just sitting here staring at me that I'm not seeing? Or something similar? Actually, we can get rid of these 2 now that I just looked at that again. That's going to get us going. There we go. So this one has to be in for you, which forces you, 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 and you to all be in. That's going to then say these are all in. That's going to give us our 3, 2, and 1, which is going to give us these guys. And we know both of these have to be in, so we'll put those in. That's going to finish our 1 there. And what else? You have to be in. You are out, so you're a corner. You have to be in. We're just going to finish this 1. That's going to push these 2 in. Good. All right. Now, one of those 2, so you're out, which pushes you and you. And you're out, sorry. You and you. And then we just have you to finish this all off. Good. There's the 11 by 11s. Done. Now we'll jump back into these other packs. You see down there where we've got a 13 by 13, 17 by 17, we've got 12 by 12, 15 by 15. Let's do the 12 by 12 one, and then we'll go straight down the line after that one. Just kind of wanted to put it slightly in order where we're moving at things and we're kind of progressing. All right, what do we have here? Where's there a good clue we can, instead of just randomly clicking on everything? There might not be oh, the 4 here is working, so let's do those. You can't be in. One of those guys there. That can't be in. I guess we're going to have to do some cleanup because there's a lot we can do. And maybe one of these 4s going this way is going to start showing itself. And then we can really kick off these 2. And that's there, that's there. So this is out, which pushes you in. We don't know which one of these 2 is in just yet. But this 3 now is looking nice. That's going to set off a little bit of a chain reaction. That's a corner. This one has to be in, so you and you have to be in. The 1 is done. The 3 is now done. You're there, so you have to be in. That finished the 4 for us. We know that this one is in. And what is this other stuff down here we can do? Or looking up and down instead. We can put you there, and then you here, which is going to force you in. And this 3 is done, so let's do those. And then this 3 is done, so let's do those. Then we can click off the 2s and the 1s. These 2 have to both be in, so that's finishing that one. These 2 now have to both be in. You, and you to finish that one. Good. And the next one, I think, I've already forgotten what it was, like a 13 by 13 or something like that. All right, we've got a 6, a couple of 6s and a 7. Let's start there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we can do the 7 right off the bat. Usually if you have a 7, you're going to be pretty golden to go, but it's not always the case. And can we sort out what's going on over here at all while we do a little bit of cleanup? Yeah, we don't know because these guys could go to multiple things. Okay. Where is the other 6s and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Yeah, we can plop these in, and that should do a ton of cleanup for us as well. So let's get those out of here. And this are all out, which pushes this 1, which is going to give us this 6. Perfect. All those are out. This one has to be in. Now you still don't quite know what those, but this 2 up here is done, so maybe that'll give us a little bit more clarity somewhere else. Like this 6 here might have something working for us. We actually have a given up here I didn't notice until now, so that's going to set a lot of things off. And that's a corner. You guys, yeah, you could be, well, this one can't be in because it would remove too many options, so that forces these to be in. Now that's out, which means you have to be in, which is going to push you, and then that just sets off a big old cascade of stuff. Good. 1 and 1 are done. This 6 has to be finished. This 6 has to be finished. So we can get rid of all of these guys. Just going to click on all of them. That's going to push you, and you. Good. Now let's clear all those out, and let's go down here and try to finish these. These are out. These are all out. So these 2 have to be in, which means this is the last guy here. All right, another pack down. Moving along in decent pace at this point. Yeah, let's go into the 15 by 15 and 16 by 16s. Again, we've got a couple 6s, so let's check their first one. That's a 7 spot, so we can get rid of some of them, ones that remove a bunch of options. Then we'll go back to this 6 and see if we get anything better down here. Yeah, it didn't look like we were going to. We can get some of these mid guys here a little bit. And let's do some cleanup and see what pops. If anything, I mean, obviously something's going to. Yeah, don't necessarily have any other big boys, do we? Nah, nothing really looking, but we've got a lot of stuff to get rid of up here, so maybe something's going to start clicking. Yeah, like you can't be in. And might need to do a little more cleanup still. I think we're pretty much good to go now, so let's start looking into some of these lines and seeing if we can find anything, or if there's a corner right there. I was gonna say if there's anything given as well, that usually can get the avalanche started, if you will. And so let's pick through them. This 4, there it is. We can get rid of those, that, and we're gonna know one of those 2 and one of those 2. You're out of here, so this 3 now is going to cascade a little bit. That's going to push you in for the 4 again, and that's going to give you the 3. again, we know one of those is this guy's out, this guy's a corner. The 2 doesn't quite finalize, the 4 doesn't quite finalize. Did that do enough? 3, 4, yeah, it did enough to get our 6 going, so we're just going to pop on that guy now and plop those out, and that's going to set things off down here. You. Okay, so you're still one of you 2. This guy's out. All right, let's do another scan. We know one of those 2 is, we know one of these 2 is. The 3, we can get rid of that guy. The 4, not really. The 6 is still not quite there. The 1 here means we can get rid of you. Not great. The 3, we can get rid of anything removing multiples. Nothing on the 3 there, really. Okay, let's go kick back to the horizontals. Now, you can't be in anymore. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, there's too many options there. All right, let me scan real quick again, then I'll come back to the horizontals. So make sure there's nothing that's just standing out in front of us and saying, hey, I'm over here. I don't think I do. Okay, let's go on to these again and take a look. No. We already knew one of those. Too many options down here. And there's too many options here and here, it looks like, too. All right, let's transition back again. Give me one more. Oh, there's 3 now. He's cleaned up. Good, there it is. Just had to find it. These are all out. Get rid of all of these. That should get stuff going down here. It does. This guy is done, so he doesn't need anything else. The 2 is actually just done, so let's click him. And let's do the 4 now, because it's done. This 4 is done. Which means you're out, which means the 6 is done and the 1 is done. Now let's come back over. Yeah, we can keep going here. You have to be in. This 2 is done. It's going to tell us these 2 are in. We're at 5 now, so only one of those 2 left. One of those. We have something down here we can work with. That's a corner. The 2 is done. That should get all this going now. One of you, we got something else coming this way. Yeah, bunch of these guys can be clicked off, and all of these, that should set stuff up going up and down. And this is a corner. This one just has to be here. There it is. 2 is done. The 3 needs 1 more, which means the 2 needs 1 more. All right, level completed. On to the next one. Alrighty, we have no zeros, so let's click on this 5 up here for starters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so we can put those in. That's not going to quite resolve some of these, but we can get rid of some of the options below it and see if we get anything else. Doesn't look like it. Let's start looking at these horizontals, the verticals, or we can... Yeah, that 5's not going to do much for us. I don't think this one is either. Nah, too many options. So let's look at these 6s then. And 7 options, so we can get rid of some of these repeat guys here. 1, 2. Let's get all of these worked out. We can get rid of these guys. What about the 6s? Let's get some of these out. It's another 7 burger, so we can get rid of a bunch of ones that remove 2 options. And again, we'll try to keep cleaning as we go once we see things. It looks like we're going to have to dig into this guy a little bit more. Nothing at the moment's popping out at me. So let's do a little bit of light cleaning, and then we'll come back and see if we fix our situation. Let's get these guys in the middle here. And I think that's fairly good. There's probably another couple somewhere, but let's now start checking things out. Let's see what we can find. That's a corner, so that's good. It's only one of these now. 2, 3, 4, 5. You guys up here. Not seeing anything as givens just yet. Well, actually, we do in this corner. That's an easy thing to see. We have 4 trees. We only have 4 locations for tents. Therefore, they must all be in. That's now a corner, so you can go away. Now, did that clean up anything? We can actually do more on the 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, actually, we can't because that's not good enough. There's a corner, though. Thought I had something there. Didn't. Alrighty, what else do we have? Again, I don't think that we can work these guys out because we don't know what goes where here just yet. There's a couple more on this 5 we can get rid of because of the removing too many options. There had to be something. This guy here can't be in because we removed too many options. That lets us get rid of these guys because they're removing too many options. That's going to finally get us going. Now here he has its own spot. Now we can get a tiny bit of work done there. And then get rid of you two. Did that give us, it gets rid of you because you've removed multiple options, which pushes these guys in. Perfect. That's going to set off a nice little group of things going on there. And the 5 is just done. Let's do that. And then let's pick these guys up. All right, you're there, you're there, you're there, you're there, you're there, and you're there. So you have to be in. This 2 is done. We said the 5's done. The 3 we can do some work on. The 4 we can't quite. The 2 though we can. So let's get that in. Does that clean up any of these other guys here? It does. This 3 now has something to work with. And one of these 2 will be in, so you can't be. All right, let's keep switching gears and finding things we can work with. This 2, here we go. These guys are all out, which finishes this 1, which is going to get some things moving. You have to be in. Good, you do. I know it's one of those 2, so it means this guy can't take on this one, because then you'd have to put 2 of them in here, so that's you. Which is going to give us these guys to work with. Good, we know one of those 2 is in, so that's out. And that's going to give this guy an in. And that should, again, get us moving. Good. Now, you have to be here, you have to be here, so you and you have to be in. That finishes these. Let's click on all of these just to make sure we're all good. There's that 2 would helped out. We got rid of a lot of stuff there. These guys now, we should be set on the 6, and we are. That's going to get rid of you, put you in, get rid of you, put you in. I like those little guys. You, so you are in as well. 5 is done. We know one of those 2, we said that previously. And this 3, we can do a little bit of work because you can't be in. Did that open up? It says you can't be in because of this 3. Now we can put this guy in for the 5, and this for the 4, and this one will go. 3 is done. This 3 needs 1 more. 2 is done, so we can plop these 2 in now. That's going to finish the 4 off and tell us that these 2 have to be in. And then the 5 and the 3. 3 needs 1 more, so you have to be, and then you're out 2, so you have to be in, and you have to be. 4 is done, 5 is finals. Okay, I think we might have time for 1 more pack, the way they're kind of going at this moment. So let's jump into this guy. 13 by 13 and 17 by 17. And again, these are the ones with the less clues. So we won't have to necessarily look at tons and tons of clues. We can kind of focus a little bit more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's put those in. And those in. And that's out, so this has to be in. Now one of these 2 will be in, so that's out. Not massive, but it's something. Can we do any... Oh, not you. You're a corner and you're a corner. And we've got some cleanup we can do. And let's set this 6 maybe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, there we go. The 6 was a given. So let's just plop all that in. Gets rid of all of this, and then we can jump onto the next level. You guys are all out. You're out. Good. Now, what other clues do we have left over? We'll look at them as we clean. This 4 is good to go, so we'll put those in. Get rid of you. That forces you to be in, and then you, and that's there, so this has to be here. 4 is done, we said. 3 is getting close, but it's not quite determined. A little bit more cleanup. And you can't be in, because you removed 2 options, so it has to be U3. One of those. What's the next? Is this 3 or the 2? The 3, there it is. That one's going to give us some things. I think that's going to set off the 2, which is then going to come back and set the 3 off as well. Because one of these 2 has to be in, so you can't be, which means you are. And that's going to finish the 2. Good. All right. This 3, yep, there we go. This middle guy is going to get rid of all these options. One of these 2 will be in, so you can't be. And not you necessarily just yet. All right, you're done, so you get rid of you. This guy can't be in because it removed too many options. All right, where is the next? Oh, here we go. This one here. You're done, so you have to go here. We're just going to make you and you. That's going to finish these guys off. And then one of these 2 will be in. We know that, and it's got to be this one. That's done with the 3. Therefore, these 2 can go in. All right. One more for this pack. And it looks like we're going to be right on time for this guy in terms of what I'd like to do for time-wise. So just going to clean this 6 area up and see what happens. It's a 7. But we can get rid of a bunch of detritus, if you will. And, oh, no, we can go back to it because that has to be in. So these have to be in. Corner, corner. And maybe not more there. This guy here, though, has to be in, which is going to force you to be in. And then you. And, oh, not you. Come on, stop clicking. You're a corner, so you're out. Let's get rid of these guys. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, it's only one of these, so that's 3 right there, 4 and 5. And you. And then what else? Okay, let's just pick apart some of these guys, I guess. And then we'll get this thing cleaned up a little bit so we can look a bit easier. Alrighty, what say you? Where are the next bits to work with? Alright, that's fairly well done. We've got a little bit more left to do, but that's fine for now. Let's start scanning. Let's see where we need to look. Which one of these clues is going to help us? No. Do a tiny bit of work on that 6. None of those. Still, we have one too many options there. All right, let's try to find maybe something sitting out all alone. And if we can see where it is. You know, I was going to say something there, but that's not accurate, so I won't say it. One of these has to be not possible, I would think, right? Because if we were to put this guy in, it means it would go with this tree, and then all of these options around would go in. So then this tree would have to have a tent here, but where would you put a tent for this tree? You couldn't, so you can't be in. I know these are tiny little things, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That does allow us, though, I think, to do this, which is going to get us a start. You have to be in. So let's get going. And then this 4 is now good. So we'll get rid of all that, do our cleanup, put you in, corner, you have to be there, which means you, and you. That's going to finalize that 1, which is nice, because then we can put some info in for there. And that's a corner. All right, just verifying on our verticals. What about this 6? This has to be good, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yep. Let's put all those in, and then we'll clean up. You. No, you. It's going to put all of these in. Perfect. Get rid of these guys up here now. And see what that does for us. You now have to be in. Which forces you and you. Which forces you, you, and you. Corner. That one's not quite ready. That's a corner as well. And that's a corner. Is there anything else down here? I kind of skipped back up, so there's probably something down here. This 2 is done. Yeah, there we go. So you 2 have to be in, you have to be in. That finishes the 6. The 4 now has to be done here, so that's going to set these guys off. That's going to finish this 4, which will set off a couple of things at least. One of those we know of. What about this 4? Yep, there we go. These 2 have to be in. Get rid of all that stuff. You're there, so you have to be here. That's you, you, so you have to be in, which means you, and you. This is the last here, and that should finish that one, and we can just plop that guy in. Great. So, yeah, I think we did great on time. And all of those puzzles were fairly large, so we had to kind of get through them. There are some no-mos. I was thinking about doing the 8x8 or the 7x7 and then not doing the other ones, but I think we're at a good time span right now, so we'll probably stop right there. But that was a fun one. Yeah, everything really flowed quite well today. No real sticking points. We just kind of breezed on through. It just made all our logic work. So very fun. Hope y'all enjoyed that one as usual, and we'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day.